Well, good morning, Life Kids. We are grateful to have you with us this morning for our God's Time. This is the first one we've done in 2021. So, Happy New Year to you all. We love to have you on our live broadcast. So, if you are able to and available on Saturday mornings at 11 and you would like to be a part of our live broadcast, then I would just encourage you to drop us an email so we can make sure that you get the link. And you can request that link at legacylifechurchonline@gmail.com. We would welcome any of our kids to be a part of our live broadcast. So we're going to go ahead and get started. Up first, we have a worship song to kind of get the kids moving. So I encourage you all to join along with the movements of this worship song. And then right after that worship song, we're going to play another song that is going to be a preview of the story we're going to be talking about for the next couple of weeks, and that is the story of Joseph. Joseph is one of Jacob's sons, and we've been going through the Bible, and before Christmas, we talked about Jacob, and Joseph is one of his sons. So we're going to go ahead and get started with two songs. So just get your stretch on so that you can be ready to dance with the worship.
Let's meet Joseph, who had a coat of many colors. Joseph was also one of 12 brothers. Joseph was loved very much by his dad, but this made all of his brothers really, really mad. Yeah, really, really mad. So his brothers got together and came up with a plan to sell Joseph to a far-off land. This land was Egypt, he was made into a slave, but everyone he worked for liked how he behaved. They liked how he behaved. God was with Joseph, even in this far-off land. He works all things for good because he always has a plan. The Pharaoh ended up making Joseph second in command, and Joseph had to store food to feed the whole land. A famine came, that means there was no food to eat, and Joseph's brothers longed for wheat, meat, or a tiny treat. Yeah, a tiny treat. But Egypt was doing fine because of what Joseph had done. People everywhere came for food, even his brothers came for some. They didn't recognize who Joseph had become. It had been many years since the bad things they had done. He revealed who he was to his brothers, and they were scared of the punishment that they deserved. But Joseph forgave them instead of being mad. He said, God can make good things even out of the bad. Yeah, even out of the bad. God was with Joseph, even in this far-off land. He works all things for good because he always has a plan. God was with Joseph, even in this far-off land. He works all things for good because he always has a plan.
Okay, that was a great song, and I'm sorry. Let me stop that. Sorry about that. I had extra music going on. So that was a great song, and that tells the whole story of Joseph. As I mentioned before, we're going to be talking about him for the next couple of weeks. So I'm going to bring up Miss Stephanie, who's going to start telling us about Joseph.
Good morning, Life Kids. How are you? And Happy New Year. We're starting a brand new year, 2021. I hope you guys are doing well. You've been missed the last few weeks. And yes, as Miss Megan said, we will be talking about Joseph. Now, the song did a great job of introducing a little bit about Joseph, but we're going to dive right into the story and tell you more about the special things that God did for Joseph. Remember, God always has a plan. So, Miss Megan, as we start the story, we can move forward. Joseph the Dreamer. Joseph and his brothers. Joseph was one of Jacob's 13 children. Wow, that's a lot of children, boys and girls. Joseph's older brothers disliked him because he tattled. Now, I know a lot of you boys and girls, you're in school, and especially some of our life kids, you're maybe in kindergarten. You don't like tattletales, but Joseph had brothers who didn't like him because they thought he was a tattletale. They disliked him even more when their father gave Joseph a colorful new robe. Now, this robe was beautiful. It had many, many colors: reds, blues, greens, yellows. It was a beautiful robe that Joseph's father had given him, and his brothers did not like it. They really disliked him when Joseph said, "I had a dream. We were tying bundles of grain, and your bundles bowed down to mine like I was your king." Ooh, his brothers didn't like that at all. "Our king," his brothers wailed. "No way." "I had another dream," Joseph said. "The sun, moon, and stars bowed down to me." One day, Joseph went to check on his brothers in the field. When they saw him, they said, "We'll get rid of this dreamer who thinks he's so great." Then they grabbed Joseph and threw him into the well. Now, boys and girls, I don't think that was very nice of them to do to their brother. Do you think God was well pleased with that? I don't think so. But remember, God had a plan. Later, a group of traders came along riding on camels. "Where are you going?" the brothers asked. "To Egypt," the men said. So Joseph's brothers sold him to the traders. Uh-oh, we'll mess up Joseph's new robe and tell Dad that a wild animal killed him, the brothers decided. And that's what they did. Boys and girls, they were going to lie to their father and tell them that an animal did it. I don't think God is happy with that either. But remember, God has a plan for Joseph. Now, let's see what else happened with Joseph. The traders sold Joseph as a slave to the captain of the king's guard, a man named Potiphar. With God's favor, Joseph did well at his work. He grew strong and handsome, so handsome that Potiphar's wife fell in love with him. "Come with me," she said. "No," Joseph cried. "That would be wrong. You are married." From then on, Joseph tried to stay away from her. Yes, that lady was trying to get Joseph to do bad things, boys and girls. But remember, Joseph stayed true to what God was calling him to do, and he stayed faithful. So Potiphar's wife felt angry because Joseph didn't obey her command. When no one was watching, she took Joseph's coat. Then she brought it to her husband. "Look, Joseph came to me to shame me," she lied. So Potiphar threw Joseph into the king's prison. But God was with Joseph. Soon, Joseph was put in charge of all the prisoners and all the prison work. So even though Joseph's wife lied on him and he was put in jail, God still blessed Joseph. Even in the midst of prison, God was with him and God favored him. But we're going to look a little bit into what Jesus' calling is saying and how God speaks to his children, even in bad situations. It says, "Even if you should suffer for what is right, you are blessed. Do not fear what they fear. Do not be frightened." And that's out of 1 Peter chapter 3, verse 14. It says, "Sometimes in this world, boys and girls, you will have to suffer for doing the right thing, as Joseph did. Do not be afraid, even then, for I am always with you. Call on me," says the Lord, "and I will comfort you. I can bring good even out of the bad things other people do. Just like what the song says, God will cause good to come out of a bad situation. God always has a plan for his people, boys and girls. So don't you fret. And next week, we're going to continue more to see what God did for Joseph and how Joseph favored him even in times when things looked bad. Remember to have fun learning about God. We love you. And here is Miss Megan.
All right. Thank you, Miss Stephanie. That was great. And we always need to do the right thing. So, Mama Pauline is going to come up and give us a story that will help us go a little bit further.
Good morning, children. It's so good to be with you again. And we had a break there, but we missed you. And now you're back from all your Christmas breaks and you're back in school. And I hope you're enjoying all of that. Today we have a story. We learned how his brothers were mean to Joseph and Potiphar's wife was mean to him. And sometimes people can be mean to you too. Maybe you've even been bullied. So this story is What If Bunny's Not a Bully by Lana Button. When it comes to bullies, Bunny is the queen. She always used to play with us, but she was super mean. There's Bunny. There's the bully. She looks extra mean today. Stick together, everyone. Make sure she stays away. Don't look in case she's glaring. She's sure to make you sad. I bet she'd like to fight us. So don't make that bully mad. But why is she a bully? What'd she do and what'd she say? Bully's just a bully. It's always been that way. Was Bunny born a bully? Or is that the reason why? Was she the bully baby who made all the babies cry? Or did she start out friendly, a kid like you and me, but ran into a bully bug whose stinger makes you mean? Does she have an allergy that gave her bully bumps? Did she take a tumble and get a nasty lump? Did she pass a bully test at Be a Bully school? Where do mean things do to others is the bully golden rule. And will Bunny be a bully even when she's old and gray? When she's old as grandma's, will we still not let her play? If she got a bully fever when she caught the bully flu, could it be contagious? Will I catch the bullies too? Oh no, I'm coming down with it. I think I'm turning mean. I might be the biggest bully anyone has ever seen. Quick, what's the bully remedy? Is there no cure in sight? Am I doomed to be a bully with no chance to make it right? Please don't call me bully. I would hate to have that name. Then I would be the one left out. I'll be the one you blame. Don't be silly, kitty. We would never act that way. Then we would be the mean ones if we never let you play. So what if Bunny's sorry? What if Bunny's sad? What if Bunny wishes that she hadn't got so mad? Maybe she's been trying to say sorry all along. I know I'd want another chance if I'd done something wrong. Oh, look, here comes Bunny. Wait, let's not run away. Let's just stick around and see what happens if we stay. Hi there, Bunny. How are you today? Well, I'm feeling sorry, and I'm wondering, could I play? I think friends can make mistakes every now and then. Want to see what happens if we all just try again? So sometimes people are mean to us, and sometimes we need to find out why and maybe give them another chance because we all do make mistakes. So if someone is mean and bullying you, you need to look and find out why and speak to them. But if they still are mean and bullying you, you need to go talk to a parent or a teacher. And just like Joseph's brothers were mean to him, things are going to turn around for the better because God is in this too. Have a blessed day. See you next week.
All right. Thank you, Mama Pauline, for that great story. We do have to keep in mind that sometimes people are mean. They just had a bad day and they may say some things that they don't mean. And so we need to give them an opportunity. So we're going to go ahead and this part is for the older kids. We're going to do the same story that we've been talking about with Joseph. But we are going to, so we're going to go a little bit deeper into the story. So the first thing we're going to talk about, remember, we've been going through the Bible from the beginning. We talked about Adam and Eve. We talked about Noah. We talked about Abraham, Isaac, his son Isaac, Isaac's son Jacob. And you may remember from before the Christmas break that God gave Jacob a new name, and that name was Israel. And Jacob had 13 children. 12 of them were sons. So I'm just going to show you that really quick. So Jacob's children were Reuben, Simeon, Levi, Judah, Dan, Naphtali, Gad, Asher, Issachar, Zebulun, Joseph, who we've been talking about, and Benjamin. He also had one daughter named Dinah. So those were his 13 kids, but 12 of them. So in the story, we heard in the very beginning that he had 13 kids, but it talked about what the brothers did to Joseph. So those were Joseph's 11. Excuse me, he had 11 brothers. Excuse me. So, and as Miss Stephanie had mentioned, Joseph, he had favor with his father. He was his father's favorite. And he did also tell on 4 of his brothers. He was working with them in the field. And we don't know what they did, but they did something wrong, and he went back to his father and he told on them. So his father, but he was his father's favorite, and so his father gave him a very pretty coat with many colors. And so his brothers disliked him because of him telling on them, but also he had special favor with his father, so they were jealous. So that was 2 reasons that they didn't like them. And then Joseph has 2 dreams, and I'm going to go ahead and read to you from Genesis 37, starting at verse 5. It says, "Now Joseph had a dream, and he told it to his brothers, and they hated him even more. So he said to them, 'Please hear this dream which I have dreamed. There we were binding sheaves in the field, and then behold, My sheaves arose and also stood upright, and indeed your sheaves stood all around and bowed down to my sheaf. So a sheaf is basically a bundle of wheat. Um, and his brothers said to him, shall you indeed reign over us, or shall you indeed have dominion over us? So they hated him even more for his dream and for his words. So what I want to point out here is that God does speak to us through dreams. And so we need to, if we have a dream, we need to pay attention to it. And we need to ask God if there's something that he's trying to tell us in that dream. Now, dreams are often symbolic. So like this dream that he just shared, he saw wheat as if it was a person and other wheat around it bowing down to the other one. So in this dream, the bundles of wheat were representative of the people. So as we go through the story of Joseph, he dreamed a lot, but he also was able to, with God's help, interpret these dreams, and that becomes important. So we're going to go on because Joseph has another dream. Then he still, this is starting at verse 5, then he dreamed still another dream and told it to his brothers and said, look, I have dreamed another dream, and this time the sun, the moon, and the 11 stars bowed down to me. So he told it to his father and his brothers, and his father rebuked him and said to him, what is this dream that you have dreamed? Shall your mother and I and your brothers indeed come and bow down to earth before you? And his brothers envied him, but his father kept the matter in mind. So his son, the brothers got even more mad at him because he's sitting there telling them basically that he's going to be ruler over them. Now Joseph was just sharing the dream that he had given. He wasn't saying that he desired it or anything. He just was sharing the dream. So as Miss Stephanie shared, the brothers come up with a plan. They go off and they're feeding the sheep, and Joseph is at home initially. But Jacob goes to Joseph and says, I want you to go check on your brothers. So go find them and check on them. So when the brothers see that he's coming, they devise this plan and they throw him into a pit. Now his one brother, Reuben, who's the oldest, the brothers were planning ill against Joseph, but Reuben knew that was wrong. So Reuben had planned to rescue Joseph from the pit. But he goes off, and while he's gone, Judah sees some men coming down the road, and he decides that they can make some money if they sell Joseph to these people from another country who are on their way to Egypt. So the brothers agree, the ones that are there, and they wind up selling Joseph as a slave. So later when Reuben goes back to the pit to rescue his brother, he's not there. So he's troubled, but they decide as a group, the brothers decide as a group, that they're going to take Joseph's coat, the coat that his father had given him, and they're going to make it look like Joseph was attacked by an animal and had died. I guess they figured that was better than telling him that he had disappeared, or the truth that he was sold. But Reuben didn't know what the truth was. He just knew that Joseph was gone. So they go back to their father and they basically say they think he's dead. So Jacob is in mourning. In the meantime, Joseph has sold to a man named Potiphar. And Potiphar is an officer in the Pharaoh's court. Now the Pharaoh is basically like the king of Egypt. So as Joseph goes into the house to Potiphar, he's a slave, so he's doing the work. But Potiphar realizes that Joseph has favor with God. So now I'm going to read from Genesis chapter 39, verse 3 through 6. And his master saw that the Lord was with him, and that the Lord made all he did to prosper in his hand. So Joseph found favor in his sight and served him. Then he made him overseer of his house, and all that he had put under his authority. So it was from the time that he had made him overseer of his house and all that he had, that the Lord blessed the Egyptian house for Joseph's sake. And the blessing of the Lord was on all that he had in the house and in the field. Thus he left all that he had in Joseph's hand. So God gave Joseph great favor because he did what was right. And because he was in charge of all of that, what Potiphar had, everything that Potiphar had was blessed because Joseph was in charge of it. But Joseph had a problem. Potiphar's wife fell in love with him, and she was trying to convince Joseph to do some bad things. And Joseph came forward and he told her, I cannot do these things. Your husband has given me favor. I cannot do anything against his wife. And he remained pure and he did the upright thing. But Potiphar's wife was upset that Joseph wouldn't do what she asked. And so he got into a scuffle with his wife, and as he ran away, he left his coat that he was wearing behind. And Potiphar's wife went to her husband and told a lie and said that Joseph was, and Joseph had come to her and done inappropriate things with her. So because of that, Joseph was put in jail. So you can see a pattern of people being either jealous of what Joseph had and doing bad things as a result, or he does the right thing and they're upset because they want something else. And so Joseph winds up getting into a lot of trouble because he continues to do the right thing. But we have to remember that, when we do the right thing, God always rewards us. And as a result, because of Joseph doing the right thing, once he was put in prison, the keeper of the prison put Joseph in charge because of the favor that he had. So Joseph was even given favor in the jail. So what I want to bring forward here is God's favor. So we're going to talk about the memory verse that you have for this week is from Proverbs 84, verse 11. For the Lord God is a sun and shield. The Lord bestows favor and honor. No good thing does he withhold from those who walk uprightly. So even though people were jealous and Joseph got himself into some trouble, he wound up in Egypt because of his brothers being envious, but God gave him favor because he did the right thing. And so even though he was in a bad situation, God turned it around for the good. So we have to remember that God always works all things to the good of those who believe in him. So we're going to stop the story right there, and we're going to continue it next week, where we're going to see the result of everything that God does for Joseph because he does the right thing, and how the dreams that Joseph had were a demonstration of what was to come. So we're going to stop right there, and we look forward to seeing you all next week. And I just want to say again, if you would like to be part of our live broadcast, you can just send an email to legacylifechurchonline@gmail.com, and then we can send you the link. We are on live every Saturday at 11 a.m. And we usually have the kids up here with us and joining in our lesson, and we love to have them as part of our broadcast. So if you have kids and you'd like them to be part of our broadcast, just send us an email so that next week we can send you the link. So I'm going to pull up Mama Pauline and Stephanie, and we are just going to, again, say Happy New Year. And we look forward to seeing you all next Saturday at 11. Bye.
Bye.
New Year. See you next week.